Very happy to invite on stage Konstantin AKINSHA from Ukraine, and the presentation is entitled Curating the End of a War. Thank you.
What I wanted to talk about is not theoretical constructions, it's immediate reaction to what we are living through. I want to say, be very pessimistic about Russian regime. Even I never could imagine that it will finish in this way. In the moment, I believe that we are not able even to evaluate what we are witnessing and what we are facing. Because we are going through the very serious structural change. In 1968, one observer said that the idea of communism was crushed under the caterpillars of Russian tanks on the cobblestones of Prague. Today, my feeling is that our model of postmodern world with fake truths and everything else which was mentioned today, that form of postmodernism is destroyed by Russian tanks in Ukraine. It's a very strange situation. It's a returning to modernism by postmodern means. Russians really reconstructed the Second World War, which they wanted to do for a very long time, because the disgusting cult of militarism, which was building up in Moscow for years, had very interesting branding. One of signs of this brand were slogans which Russians were putting on their cars on the 9th of May, on the Victory Day, stating, "We can repeat this again." And they repeated it indeed, but on the other side. Not reenacting heroic deeds of the Soviet army, but reenacting behavior of the Nazi armies in Ukraine. So, in the moment, we don't know what will follow. We don't know, but we are understanding that the world is changing in our eyes. I can understand your comparisons with Armenia, but it's not Armenia. Armenia is much smaller, much more localized, and much more pronounced ethnic conflict. Here, we don't have ethnic conflict. We have conflict of systems. It's very interesting that in the beginning of this war, Mr. Putin started to fight basically with Russian-speaking areas of Ukraine. He never came to the place, or Russian army never came to the place, where people are even speaking Ukrainian. Because Kharkiv, Mariupol are cities where 99% of population are speaking Russian. They could be ethnically Ukrainian or ethnically Russian. It's not important. And official cause of Russian war was to protect Russian speakers. We can see this protection. But anyway, one day, all of us woke up and discovered that we are living in the state of war. And what could be done in this situation? I'm personally trying to do too many things, and I'm understanding that I'm realizing too many projects. So on the screen, you see announcement of exhibition, which will be in Venice. It's opening on the 1st of May. It was very fast project, and the works were created, or majority of the works which you will see in this exhibition were created in March. Or actually in the second part of March. It's an exhibition of very important Ukrainian photographer called Alexander Chikmenyov, who basically portrait photographer. So he was addressed in the beginning of the battle around Kyiv by the New York Times, who wanted to use him as a news photographer. He refused. He said, "I'm not making news photographs." I am making portraits. And somehow he convinced them that he will make portraits of people in Kiev, which in the beginning New York Times did not like, but in the end of the day, they published a special issue of the magazine, which was just composed of these portraits. And it became great victory of them. So we will show these Kiev portraits in Venice. We will include them. It will be a big part of this exhibition. Now the photographer is working on the next series, which I'm not sure that we will have time to take to Venice. He came to Bucha. You probably, all of you read about Bucha, about this massacre here. And there are some survivors who were hiding in the cellars of their houses. And he's taking them now back to the cellars, which psychologically very difficult, and making their portraits. So everybody whom I know of these Ukrainian artists are trying now to react immediately. Maybe this reaction will be not necessarily perfect, but it's necessity to somehow process these events, to come with a rapid reaction. And me and my colleague Lisa Loshkina, we are doing now big exhibition of contemporary, or actually sizable exhibition of contemporary Ukrainian art, or art reacting to the war, which will be open on the 6th of August in Vienna, in the Kloster House. For us, it's a symbolical place. Unfortunately, not in the best sense. It's a kind of omen. Because the first exhibition of Ukrainian art in Kloster House we did in 2014, when Maidan revolution was still in development. And I came to Kloster House a few weeks ago to the meeting of the board to discuss this new Ukrainian exhibition. And I told them that, I really hope that it will be my last exhibition in the Kloster House. And they asked why. I said, because the first was connected to Maidan. The second is connected to the war. And the third would be connected only to the end of the world, because they don't see any other reasons to organize one more show in Kloster House. And of course, we are facing big problem, because we have somehow shipped these works from Ukraine, which is, I can say, all the time we are racing with time, and all the time we are losing this race. So, like sitting here, yesterday I was on telephones trying to ship from the city of Dnipro, which very possibly will become the next target of Russian attack, two installations which we want to include in this exhibition. And the problem is that one installation, of course, is 8 meters long and another is 3 meters long. I don't know, somehow they deliver it to the city of Lviv, thank God, so it's out of the direct line of damage. But in Ukraine, we cannot say today what is a safe place, because it could be Russian bomb or Russian rocket dropped on Kiev, on Lviv, on any city. Another problem which we are facing, which is not connected to contemporary art, but in a sense processed by contemporary artists. It's a problem of protection of cultural heritage, because we already have a random destruction of the cultural heritage in all areas of Russian aggression and occupation, and in the cities which are under permanent Russian bombardment. And I can give you one example, the city of Kharkiv, which is the capital of Ukrainian modernist architecture, and one of capitals, let's say, of Soviet constructivism. Because this city has the biggest constructivist buildings, extremely important. The whole center of the city was designed by constructivist architects during the 20s. And now these buildings are, of course, under shelling. Some of them are already damaged. And we don't know what will follow, because these bombardments of Kharkiv are going on daily basis. And the Rust range, unfortunately, I have no this PowerPoint. I wanted to show you some examples. The Rust range projects, which are immediately originating in this situation. We have a photographer in Kharkiv. His name is Stanislav Ostrovsky, who was interesting, high-quality, conceptual photographer, going with conceptual works, very complicated. To my feeling, is a bit too heavy. Nice guy. He was teaching in the local art school in Kharkiv, teaching photography in this Kharkiv Academy of Design. And then this war started. He's a person who was interested in architecture. Even from his conceptual project, he used this modernist architecture as a backdrop. And when bomb started to fall, he saw that his beloved houses are destroyed. So he decided to make a kind of chronicle of this destruction. So every day he's taking camera, going immediately after bombardment, or sometimes he's caught by bombardments, and photographing all these destructions, making stunning images, which are, it's difficult to say, they are so horrible that in this horror there is even some beauty of this horror. Because when he is photographing this scene, there are no people around. So it's empty. It's absolutely like the Kirika empty town. Unfortunately, I made a mistake because I helped him to get a bulletproof vest and the helmet. Commodities which you cannot get in contemporary Ukraine because it's the most desirable objects, and I am afraid that it's giving him a bit false feeling of security. I'm talking to him every day, trying to, talk some reason into him. Now we started to discuss, I sent these photographs around, we started to discuss with the Technical University of Berlin, the Museum of Architecture of Technical University, and the idea is not to exhibit this stuff in the museum, but to use one of squares in Berlin. And we have location, we have empty building with a lot of windows, and just to put all these photographs in the windows of one of buildings, but of course we are facing bureaucracy. We have to get permission of the city authorities, which we are trying to do right now. So, artists are trying to do things. They are working right now. I want to see, of course, now it's very early to say, it's a first reaction, it's a traumatic reaction. I believe that it will be developed, I believe that we will see very serious projects, but we need some time, and we need some place for this artist, because, male artists cannot leave Ukraine, because by the rules, it's only people after 62 years of age are permitted to leave the country. And the girls are thrown all around. So we have gender disbalance, because like during exhibition I have all female artists I did, but I don't have one male to join it. So that's what we are living through. I'm sorry it's not finished yet, and I am afraid that many horrors are still awaiting for us. I really counting on support of everybody who could provide this support in any form. I can give you one example which was not directly connected to contemporary art, but in a sense connected, because Siemens Foundation in Germany gave funds in German museums all museums, from contemporary art, classical museums, could hire Ukrainian curators for 1 year, which is a great thing because these people finding something, some not being just refugees, thrown out of the country and having nothing to do. It's a great project. I hope that more of projects like this will be generated, and I think that any support is support. So I'm asking everybody who will have such chance, please support us. Thank you.